Hey there and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Tina or Christina, whichever one you prefer. So in today's video, I just wanted to share the 24 books that I want to read here in 2024. This is something that I've seen folks do across the various years on different booktube channels, and I thought that it would be pretty fun for me to do it as well, especially as a new booktuber here in the year 2024. So with this list of 24 books, I very purposefully chose books that I haven't read, obviously haven't read before, but like that are completely new to me, that I don't really know anything by this author, that I've just kind of heard about on a booktube or just perusing Amazon or the bookstore, that I want to pick up because it seems like it's going to be interesting. And I figured that this would be a really good way for me to try out new authors, different books, different genres and stuff like that that I wouldn't typically pick up, because that is one of my goals this year, is to test out new authors and new books. So I'm going to use my journal spread here as a guide. If you're interested in kind of seeing a flip through of my 2024 reading journal setup, I'll leave it linked down below, but I'll also put it up here if you want to see that. But I'm going to be looking down at this. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm looking at my 24 books in 2024 spread. All right, so the first book that I have on this list is The Serpent and the Wings of Night. Now, I randomly picked this up at Target when I did like a little book shopping vlog and haul, and I didn't realize that it was like so popular. I did remember seeing something like it in Amazon on my Kindle, and that is the second one, I guess, is in Kindle Unlimited, and I think maybe the first one is too. So I might kind of do a combination of reading it on my Kindle as well as reading it on here, the physical copy, because it is like very small text and sometimes that gets on my nerves. But I hear that there's like some vampires and stuff like this that in here, and I just wanted to pick it up. I've heard good things about it, so I'm excited to see what it's all about. The second book on this list is One Dark Window. I did already read this book this year, and I did enjoy it. I will be doing an extensive like review on the duology, this one and Two Twisted Crowns, because it was good and I do want to chat about it, and we'll kind of go from there. But one book for 2024 already knocked off the list, but that was book 2. The next book on this list I'm going to be reading in Kindle Unlimited, and it's called Dead Silence by S.A. Barnes. This one I found on, I can never remember the name of the booktubers, but I found it on a booktube channel. She was talking about fantasy and horror recommendations, and I'm like, girl, you're speaking my love language, fantasy and horror books and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, okay, this is one that I definitely want to read this year. So it's Dead Silence by S.A. Barnes. I'm really looking forward to it. The next one is a book that I do own. I just don't know where it is right now. I started reading this book a few years ago, but I was really enjoying it, but life was just nuts and I wasn't able to keep reading at that time, so I set it aside. So I do want to read it again and then hopefully get to the rest of the series. But it is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. This is something that was recommended to me by somebody in real life, actually, years ago when I initially picked it up, and like I said, I was enjoying it, but I'll get back to it soon. And I obviously have to find it first. I don't know where it is. Book number 5 on this list is These Burning Stars. I'm excited about this one. It's sci-fi. It takes place in space or something like that, and I'm really excited about it. I've heard really, really great things about this book, so I'm really looking forward to reading it and hopefully getting all of those like sci-fi suspensey feels while reading it. The 6th book on this list is Jade City by Fonda Lee. I really want to read this book. I've heard really good things about it, so I'm excited to read it and see how it goes, and then I might want to pick up the rest of the trilogy in the second half of the year if I enjoyed this, but I just wanted to get started with Jade City. Book 7 on this list is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I've heard interesting things about this. I've heard some really great things, and I've heard, it wasn't for some people, some folks DNF'd it and all that fun stuff, so I just want to check it out. This is definitely not something that I would typically pick up, just with my typical appetite for books. So I'm really excited to see the impact and like how I feel about this book and how it goes. Number 8, yes, 8 on this list is Project Hail Mary, sci-fi, again, in space. Very excited to check this out and see how it goes. I've heard wonderful, wonderful things. Book 9 on this list is The Hunger Games. I have never read The Hunger Games. I did see the first movie. I feel like I tried to read The Hunger Games at some point, but I don't remember. Maybe I tried to read it, but I just didn't get into it. But what have you. I have it here, the first one. I don't have the rest of the ones in this series, but I know, I guess that Song of Birds, Ballads, I don't know. I don't know what it's called, but I guess that's in movies now, and then that kind of just jogs my memory of the Hunger Games even being a thing. So like I said, I've seen the movie, the first movie. Never watched any of the other ones. Like, there are multiple movies, I believe. But yeah, I'm excited to read this and see if I can get into it this time around. Book 10 on this list is If He Had Been With Me. I've heard that this is just really emotionally impactful and also a beautiful story, so I do want to read this and see how it goes. It says, if he had been with me, everything would have been different. So, I don't know. I feel like this is gonna break my heart, you know, and in a really meaningful way. And I think that there's a second one coming out this year. No, there is, you know, I think it's called If I Had Told Her, which I do have on my anticipated releases. So I definitely want to read this before that comes out because I think I'll enjoy it. Book 11 on this list is Five Survive by Holly Jackson. I've heard that this is a fun little thriller. I mean, as fun as, I guess, being, I think it's like trapped in a car, like a van or something like that. 6 friends, 5 of them survive, I guess. We'll see how it goes. I know I can pick this up at Target, and you know, I could get it on Amazon, but the paperback version of this book comes out on April 2nd, so I want to wait for that because I do prefer paperback over hardcover, and you know, we're gonna do that instead. Book 12 on this list is The Priory of the Orange Tree. I've heard great things about this, that it's really wonderful fantasy to read, and that there are some good commentary that come out of this book. So I'm really excited to pick it up and read it. I don't really know anything else that this is about. I know that there's also another one, there's a second one after this, so if I like it, maybe I'll be picking up the second one later this year. Book 13 on this list is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I've heard that this is a pretty whimsical fantasy, and so I just, you know, want to read it. I know that there's a second one that's coming out this year as well, but I've just heard such amazing things about this book, so I figured, hey, let me go ahead and put it on my 24 in 2024. And then this is a hardcover book, but it doesn't have a dust jacket and stuff, so it's like really cute and tiny, even though it's hardcover. I would still prefer it to be paperback, but it's really cute. Book number 14 on this list is Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. I do want to read some Brandon Sanderson this year. I want to try, you know, his writing out, his stories out. I've heard great things about him as a fantasy writer, and people love his series and all of that fun stuff. This one is a standalone from what I gather, so I wanted to start and try this out and see how I like his writing and then kind of go from there. Number 15 on this list is one that I'm going to read in my Kindle with Kindle Unlimited, and it is called Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I know that this is a duology. I think there's Vicious and then there's Victorious, so you know, we'll check it out. We'll see how it goes. V.E. Schwab is an author that I do want to start picking up this year too. So I'm excited to read that one. Book number 16 on this list is Scythe. I've heard a lot of things about this, and it looks like it is going to be part of a series because it does say that this is book 1. But I've heard, you know, a lot of people have this on their TBR, but not a ton of people who have actually read it. Maybe 1 or 2 folks or channels that I watched, like the person actually had finally read it, but I heard good things. And it says thou shalt not kill. We'll see. we'll see if they, you know, hold up to that end of the bargain, right? But Scythe is on this list. I'm excited to see what it's all about. Book 17 is The Hurricane Wars. I randomly heard about this book on in another booktube channel I was watching, and she was talking about a lot of fantasy and sci-fi books. She had some mixed thoughts on this book, but it seems really interesting to me, and it is Thea Guanson's debut novel, so I thought that would be really excited. Let me read her debut novel and see how it goes, but it seems interesting, and I really like the cover, so we're gonna go for it. Book 18 is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I heard of this book and I have heard really great things about the series overall, and it's just something that I want to read. I want to test it out. I want to see how it goes, so I think I'm definitely going to enjoy this. I do have the entire series because I got it as a box set, but I'm excited about this one. The next book that I have on this list is The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi. This one too, I'm waiting for the paperback to come out. I think it's on March 26th, so that I can get it in paperback, but I'm really excited about reading that one too. Now the next one on this list I will be reading on my Kindle as part of Kindle Unlimited, and it's called How Far We Go in the Dark. I've heard that this is really compelling, like the writing is wonderful and it just really makes you think. I love a book that makes me think. You know, that's my jam, so I wanted to pick it up. Book number 21 on this list is To Kill a Kingdom. I've heard really good things about this book. The same booktuber that I was watching that talked about the Hurricane Wars and Priory of the Orange Tree and Project Hail Mary, actually. She talked about a lot of them. Also mentioned this book and that it was enjoyable, so I wanted to go ahead and pick it up. Number 22 is The Only Good Indians. I'm really excited to read this one to see, you know, what it's all about. It says that it's gritty and gorgeous. The New York Times said that about this. And it's got some, you know, culture and revenge and all of that type of stuff in here, so I'm really excited to see what this is all about. Number 23, I have Binding 13. I've heard crazy interesting things about this book and about the series overall. You know, I don't necessarily love a ton of like romance too much. I guess that's what this is and what's going on here. Very toxic romance, I guess. I don't know. It's a series, but I wanted to pick it up. This is supposed to be about things that I might not typically pick up, and this doesn't necessarily sound like something I would typically pick up, but I think it's going to be interesting. It says, he wants to save her, she wants to hide, she's damaged, he's determined, fate brought them together, love binds them. Sounds unhealthy. That really sounds unhealthy, but I've heard that it's, I guess, incredibly moving, and it is young adult, so we'll see. I'm excited to do some commentary about this book. And then the last book, number 24 on this list, is Local Woman Missing. I love a good thriller. I love suspense. Love that. I've heard, you know, that this is a good book. I guess it was popular maybe a couple of years ago or something like that. But yeah, I'm excited to read it and see what it is all about. It says dark and twisty with white knuckle tension and jaw-dropping surprises, and that's by Riley Sager, who I guess writes a lot of stuff too, like thriller stuff. I actually have one of his books, Lock Every Door, but I haven't read it. Maybe I should try to read that soon. But yeah, that's the last book on this. So those are the 24 books that I want to read in 2024. Yeah, let me know if you're doing like a 24 books in 2024 or something like that, or if there's like a top 10 books that you want to get to in the year 2024. I'd definitely love to know what those are. If you have read any of these books, definitely let me know if you liked them, you didn't like them, if they were so-so. I'd love to hear about that. Just don't tell me any spoilers or any, you know, like major details, because we don't want that just yet. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and put a like on it, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.